America goes to war. Men of the Army, Navy, and Marines reinforce the battlefronts on 6 continents to save the homes and ideals of free men from Axis domination. The worldwide conflict brings intrepid American airmen to China's heroic fighting front. "10,000 miles from home, men and supplies pour in through India, the last doorway to China. Cheerful yet determined, welcome strangers in a strange land." American naval guns open up on the Jap-held Solomon Islands. At Guadalcanal, United States Marines in a swift, surprise invasion add new glories to the fighting career of their illustrious corps. The retreating Japs attempt to destroy their newly completed air base. It is quickly captured by the Leathernecks and renamed Henderson Field. History recorded as it happened. The Marines are the first to raise the American flag on enemy territory. Seeking out and blasting Hitler's U-boats is the rough, tough job of naval aviators and men of the Coast Guard. Hundreds of ships, including vitally needed tankers, are hit, burned, and sunk, victims of prowling enemy submarines. American waters become a battlefront. In the Caribbean, more ships run foul the enemy fire, but greater combat action gets results as convoys steam through to their destinations. Russia meets the grim test. Despite repeated attacks by crushing panzer units, pushing on desperately toward the Caucasus and into the streets of Stalingrad, Marshal Semyon Timoshenko's relentless armies take a terrific toll of the enemy and upset his invasion timetable. The Russians meet the Nazis in close and often hand-to-hand fighting. A German sniper is picked off by a Soviet sharpshooter. Another Nazi tries to surrender, but too late. Britain's Prime Minister flies to Moscow. Eyes and ears the world over are focused on a conference of historic importance. Churchill meets Stalin behind the walled fortress of the Kremlin. Rio de Janeiro, nerve center of the largest country in South America, is the scene of a history-making demonstration. All-out war is declared as a result of the ruthless Axis attacks on Brazilian ships and an appalling loss of lives. Brazil goes to war.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Hilltop Pillbox here in Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada, and we are on the final round of our Bloodbath Rules Quarantine Quagmire. It's quite a mouthful there. And yeah, we are down to it. This is it. The Axis have had all their turns and moves for the game, and now the Allies are going to get some kicks at the cat, as it were, hoping to, I don't know, cause some grief. If we take Fiji, this is the only major attack that has any hope whatsoever, and it's a slim hope at about, I think, 30% or something. But if we do succeed here, then we will win the game. If we don't succeed, then I will go along and do my other little minor attacks that I have set up here, which are all doomed to fail. Not being a defeatist, it's when I put the stuff into the odds calculator, it just kind of laughed at me. So now I've brought everything down from Hawaii. I had 3 transports come down up there, and they brought 9 units. So I have 3 men, 5 artillery, 1 tank, 2 fighters versus all that. This isn't a bomber, it's a transport. So it takes a hit, but it doesn't defend. So here we have my tank and 2 fighters, And here are my 8 other units, my 3 men and 5 artillery. So I need a boot full of hits here. I did not get a boot full of hits. I got 4. Okay, so that will just be that and the 3 infantry. All right, that's not what I needed. I needed about 7 hits on that first round, which is, of course, dreaming. Now here are his dice. The black dice are 4, so he's got 6 fighters, he's got 2 tanks, and 4 infantry. And he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Okay, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3. Let's take those 2 off. 4, 5. Okay, so yeah, we're done. But we're going to keep rolling because you got to keep rolling. I needed a much better opening round than that. All right, so I am down 5 dice. All right, so my 6 dice. Let's get 6 hits. What do you say? And they say no. And so we got 3. So that'll be his 2 tanks and infantry. So he has 2 tanks, 1 infantry, and the death. The 6. Oh, well, I'm still alive. That's 3 hits. Okay. We do that. 3 artillery. Uses that. And so I've got a 3 and... I got 3 3s versus 6 4s. Boy, if you had to go to Vegas and put odds down on that, eh? Yeah, my 3s have been really anemic here, but yeah. So I got 1 hit. And he's got 6 4s coming back, and that'll be it. Oh, well, 2 hits. Okay, so we'll just take out the 2 fighters. And we have 1 left. Yay, we got a hit. There are moral victories in Axis and Allies. And 2. All right, so obviously that's it, folks. It was a long shot, and kudos to the Axis. They really knew how to hunker down and protect what they had at the end here. Let's put these guys back on. All right, so now up in China, we got to do all these other attacks now that Fiji failed. So we're going to have these 2 cavalry come through and the fighter come through. So what we have here is we have 2 at 2 and 1 at 3. This is a transport. It takes a hit again, but does not defend. So we have... And if you're wondering about the smooth action on the phone here, I got it on the gimbal. So yeah, it's nice. Here we go. Yeah, that's not going to do it. So 1 hit. So that'll take care of this thing, and it doesn't do anything. So we'll just get rid of it. And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at 2 and 1 armor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 and 1 armor. 2 hits. And unfortunately, because we have to take the territory, we will lose the fighter. This is, like I say, we did not set ourselves up for success here at all. Especially when we don't roll well, too. There's that. But even if we rolled well, we'd be losing this one. So here we go. Yeah. All right. So that's it for the Chinese. They're done. There's a bunch of other attacks that I could do in here that I'd probably win. You know, I could take these guys into here and take this into here, and the Americans could come down from Manchuria, do all that. But there's really no point now. So yeah, all I hurt here was something that doesn't actually shoot back. That's how bad the dice have been many times during this game. For both sides, we've both had our times. Oh, and by the way, you might be looking at this and saying, why is that all still there? It's because I'm lazy. Essentially, if you want to know how that battle for Leningrad went, take away all the Russian stuff and keep all the German stuff, and that'll give you a pretty good idea of what's left. So that went horribly, horribly bad. All right. So now what we're doing here, it's our last gasp at some fun. The strategic bomber, though, is not going to be participating in that sort of battle. It's going to be coming in, and it's going to be attacking the air base. Okay? So it's going to do that. My 6 transports here are going to pick up these 18 fellas and bring them in to 95. Now, Detroit is going to scramble, and all I have is a cruiser, a destroyer, and a fighter coming from Gibraltar. So he's got his 3 4s, 4 4s, 5 4s versus a 2, a 3, and a 3. So once again, long shots, very long odds here. But hey, that's why we roll it out. So to start off with, we'll start with the AAA shooting at the strategic bomber. Okay, so at least we get to do that. Strategic bomber has to roll that. 1, of course. But on the plus side, the dice are just mocking me now. On the plus side, this, now the bomber will see 1, 2, 3, yeah, I can head back. So it's back in Gibraltar. The airbase is now out of commission, so I'm going to flip it over. Now he's already scrambled, so he's got his 3 planes out in here. He's already scrambled, but next turn, when the British and Canadians come in the next battles, he can no longer use that airbase. All right. So now we have my 2 3s and a 2 going after his 5 4s. Aha. And here we go. Oh, well, at least we got a couple hits here, which is going to tip both the battleships. Oh, I messed up. Got to do that again because he has 2 battleships that each get 3 dice for AAA. And he shoots down my fighter. So the fighter's gone. All right. Now I have a destroyer and a cruiser. And no hits because the dice were just mocking me that first round. And he has 5 4s and he gets enough hits to kill everything. Okay. So essentially what happens is that these things would not go in until the battle is won. So they essentially just move away one spot and everything moves over. So for logistics sake, we'll just do that. Okay, so we're going to be doing a bit of a wrap-up video that's going to talk about some things about what, you know, the highs and lows for ourselves. Huge kudos to the Axis. It's not over yet, of course. They don't have scramble now, and both those battleships are... Oh no, they're not damaged because I totally missed. Right, so he's completely healthy fleet. Got no troubles at all. Can't scramble though. So hopefully all these British subs, he's got 4 subs. He's got his own battleship and a destroyer and another destroyer. So they'll probably be able to take care of that stuff. They might even come into this sea zone here. That might be easier, but the Canadians can't reach. But anyway, kudos to the Axis. Now, I heard some people make some comments about how, well, when you know it's an 8-round game, well, like, look at this. This is ridiculous, right? Like, there's nothing here protecting any of this stuff. It's all wide open for the taking for Japan. I mean, if we played 3 more rounds, I think Japan might actually lose, you know, some people are saying, because they don't have anything really backing this stuff up. Like if, you know, the Chinese, you know, just were able to concentrate fire and bring it in 2 or 3 rounds, cause some grief. Yeah, maybe, but that's not what this game is. This game is a 3-round or an 8-round game. And that's what it is. And the Axis played it to perfection so far. And even though they lost Italy, I think it actually helped them out. Because it allowed Germany to build a couple of battleships and a cruiser down here this turn. Italy could not have afforded that. So I think going forward, we as allies, you know, if we could go back a couple of turns, maybe we wouldn't have taken Italy, because that actually just saved Rome, is them being able to build 2 battleships. That saved Rome. It's much more likely that Italy would have been able to build maybe 1 battleship, or maybe not even that. And then the Allies could have used their strategic bomber on Sea Zone 95, cleared out whatever is there, and then you've got 18 units landing in Rome. And I think the 18 units would probably win that. And if not, the British and Canadians would certainly come in and take care of it. Now, there would be a couple of Italian things here, but most of what you see here is Italian anyway. All the men, all the artillery are Italian. And they also got 4 fighters, so 3 of these fighters might be Italian fighters as well. So looking back, as we go back, that might be something to consider. For the Japanese, there might be some tweaking going on with these bloody things because they are very, very effective at basically pushing China up into the corner, and China does nothing until it's too late, right? If Japan on turn 5 vacates China and China's up here, maybe turn 6, and then so on turn 6, 7, 8, which is what we're at, right? So they knew that we couldn't get to any of their victory points. So all you have to do is push China away for a few rounds and then disappear, and China is completely irrelevant. So, and that's why I landed some things up here in America. But anyway, there's a lot to be talked about in this game. I thought it was fabulous. I thought it was a wonderful game, and it's not over yet. It's not over yet, although this will be a tall order to defeat. But we'll see if they can pull off a miracle. You never know. If you remember Italy from last year, we had 2 rounds that we weren't supposed to win, and we won them both. So 2 battles. So we'll see. You never know. Congrats though to the Japanese over here. Get rid of that. I tell you, smug, eh? That's pretty much it. And again, we're not doing any of the other movements. I could bring my bomber and transport a bunch of guys to Manchuria, but it's all for naught. It's one day too late. All right, well, thanks for watching, folks. Good luck to my compatriots here, Hambone and Matt Todd, and may their assault on Italy go better than mine. And again, congrats to Detroit and G.I. Joe for thus far having been able to secure all their points. And we'll see what happens for the rest of turn 8 here on the Quarantine Quagmire on the YouTube Wars, BBR rules. Have yourselves a wonderful day.